Today I'm going to show you how to set up a progressive respawn in your scenarios. We're going to build a progressive mission with tasks and sectors that we can capture. So there's going to be 3 sectors. Let's go to the map. And the first sector that we're going to capture is going to be the comms whiskey. The second sector that we're going to set up for capture is going to be the GSM station, which will be this little area here. Then we're going to go over here. This will be the third sector that we're going to set up for capture, which will be the training base. And then we're going to have an exfil point, which will be this helipad next to the third sector. First thing we're going to do is place a player, and he's going to be on the blue 4 side. He's going to be a rifleman. Place him right about there. We're going to right click him and edit his loadout. And we're going to change his loadout. And I have something set up for him, and this will be our loadout. Alright, that takes care of the player. The player's set up. Let's set up our first sector. We're going to go to triggers. We're going to choose a trigger without a size. And we're going to place the trigger right in the center, and we're going to expand it so that it encompasses the area to create a sector that we want. Next, we're going to edit the trigger, and we're going to set the activation to independent, not present. And then just hit OK. Then we're going to copy the trigger, press Ctrl C, and we're going to go to the map. And then we're going to go to the GSM station for sector 2, paste the trigger, and we're going to take a look and see where this guy is at. Expand it a little bit more. Just check to make sure, yep, independent, not present. We're going to go back to the map, and then we're going to go to the training base here. We're going to press Ctrl V, and this will be our third sector. We're going to edit the trigger, and we're going to make this a rectangle. And we're going to square it up with the area, and we're just going to expand it so it covers this area, and that's it. So this will be sector 3, and then the exfiltration point is going to have a trigger as well. So we're going to paste the trigger again. We're going to edit the trigger, and we're going to make it a rectangle. While we're in here, we're going to set the activation to blue 4 present, and then we're going to put a code. So in the on activation box, we're going to put a little short code, and it's going to be left square bracket, right square bracket, space, call, space, BIS underscore FNC underscore end mission, and then a semicolon. So basically, when player enters this trigger, the mission's going to end complete. I'll just hit OK. Now we're just going to adjust the size of the trigger so that it fits the size of the helipad, and that's fine. Alright, that takes care of that. So that's all the triggers that we have to place. I'm going to go back to the player's position, and then next we're going to go to F5 systems, and then we're going to go to multiplayer. We're going to choose respawn position, and we're going to place that next to the player. And we're going to edit the respawn position module. I'm going to set it to infantry. The side is going to be blue 4 because our player is on blue 4, and the rest of it we can leave as is. Next, we're going to go to the variable name, and we're going to put respawn underscore west. Now that we have that, we're going to click on the module so it's highlighted, so you can see it there that it's highlighted. We're going to press Ctrl C to copy it. We're going to go to the map, and then we're going to essentially go in the center of comms whiskey, which is our first sector, and we're going to press Ctrl V to paste the module into the middle of the sector. If you edit the trigger, you're going to see that this module is going to have the same name as the first module, but it's going to have an added 1, and that's what you want. So leave that as it is, and then next what you're going to do is you're going to right click the module and sync it to the trigger. Alright, so what that's going to do is when the player clears the trigger, a new respawn point will be created at this point because the trigger has been cleared. Next, we're going to go to the map, and then we're going to go to the GSM station. We're going to place the respawn module right about here, and we're going to right click it. We're going to sync it to the trigger, and then we're going to edit the module, and it should say respawn west 2, so it's in progression. Hit OK, it takes care of that. And then we're going to go to our training base. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to press Ctrl V and paste the module. And we're going to right click the module, sync it to the trigger. That's it for the modules. We don't have to put one over by that trigger. That's going to be the final one. Alright, so that takes care of the modules. Let's go back to the player location. Right click him and go here. Next, we're going to set up tasks for our mission. So we're going to close the respawn module, and we're going to go to Intel, and we're going to put down a create task module. Now the create task module is going to be set up by our first sector. So we're going to place the create task module, and we're going to edit it, and we're going to set the state to be created, and the task type icon is going to be a attack symbol. Destination will be module position, and then we're going to give it a title. So the title is going to be Capture Sector 1, and that's all we need to do. We don't need to put a description, and I just hit OK. So that sets up our created tasks. Next, we're going to place a set task state module, and I'm going to place it right about here. The set task state module we're going to set to succeeded, and we'll just hit OK. We're going to right click this guy, sync it to the created task module, and then sync it again, right click it, and then sync it again to the trigger. Alright, so the way this will work is the player will get the task, and once he clears the trigger, the task will be succeeded, and then a new respawn point will be created here. Alright, so now that we have that set up, what we're going to do now is let's go to the map, we're going to highlight these two. Now, just a little note, if you're not sure something's highlighted, you could always look in your entities panel here. So when something is green in here, that means it's highlighted, and that's what you want. So you're going to highlight these two, you're going to press Ctrl C, and then we're going to go to, let's see, it should be the second trigger. Let's go here, which brought us over here. Alright, cool. Alright, so we have that set up. Now we're going to basically press Ctrl V, and let's go to the create task. We're going to change this to sector 2. It's still going to be attack. Destination is going to be the module position. Pretty much everything is going to be the same. You just change it to, say, sector 2, and that's it. And we'll check on this, and that's going to be set to succeeded. Then we're going to right click the set task state and sync it to this guy here. In order for us to create another task after the first sector, we're going to right click this create task state and sync it to the first trigger of our first sector, just like that. Everything is good here. Next, let's go to our third sector, and then we're going to paste the tasks again. We're going to edit the task, and we're going to change this to Capture Sector 3. It's going to be the module position. The task is going to be the created. Task type is going to be attack, and that's set. Check this. It's going to be succeeded. Right click this and sync it to the trigger. And then we're going to right click the create task one, connect, and then sync to, we're going to scroll out, and we're going to connect this guy to this trigger. That's set up. Next, we're going to go to the exfil point, and we're going to paste the task again. And this time we're going to edit the create task module. We're going to retitle this. This title is going to be exfiltrate. This task is going to be, a state is going to be created, and we'll set this to, we'll put exit for the icon. All right, so that's going to be exfiltrate. It'll be at the module position. We'll just hit OK. And then for the set task state will be succeeded as well. Right click the set task state module, go to connect and then sync to, and then connect that to the trigger. All right, the next thing we need to do is right click the create task state for the exfil, go to connect and then sync that to the trigger for sector 3. That sets up our sectors. Just for the sake of reading the map, we're going to go to markers and we're going to place a marker. We're just going to put down, let's say, a dot. And since we're right here, we're going to place the dot right about here. We're going to edit it. We're going to change the color to blue. And we're going to give the text a name, and the text is going to be sector 3. And that'll give some information when you look at the map. So we're going to click on the marker, press Ctrl C, and then we're going to go to sector 2, and we're going to paste the same thing here. We're going to edit it, and we're going to name this number 2 for sector 2. Then we're going to go to sector 1 and do the same thing. Edit it and put this as sector 1. Next, we're going to start placing some enemies. Let's go to sector 1. And the enemies we're going to choose is going to be from the independent side. It's going to be syndicate, infantry, and we're going to put a bandit fire team. So it's going to be basically 4 guys. I'm going to put them in the center. That's one group we're going to place. Then we're going to go to sector 2. And we're going to place a bigger team. This is going to be a shock team. Place these guys right about here. We're going to put 2 groups. Then we're going to go to sector 3. And in sector 3, we're going to put a paramilitary combat group. So that's our enemies for there. Then we're going to go to F1 for units, go to syndicate, and then we'll go to cars. And then we're going to go to MB4WLMG. This objective is going to be just a little bit more challenging. And we're going to basically place him just like that, and that's it. Alright, so that's it for the enemies. Next, we're going to go to the map. We're going to go down to this location. So you see where this location is at. The player, our first sector is up here. Then we're going to go over here. We're going to go to Blue 4, and we're going to go to helicopters. We're going to place a helicopter. We're going to set up a support helicopter to come and help us out. So we're going to place an AH-9 Pawnee. We're going to go to Systems, and then we're going to go to Supports, and we're going to put down a support provider helicopter attack. I'm going to place that in front of the helicopter. Then we're going to place down a support requester module. I'm going to place that right in front of the other module. And we're going to sync this to the helicopter. We're going to sync this to the support requester module. We're going to then go to the map and right click it and then sync it to the player. Alright, so the player has that, and we're going to go back to the support requester module. We're going to edit it, and this is going to be CAS helicopter limit. We're just going to put it for 2 for the heck of it, and then that's it. Alright, so that sets that up. Next, we need to set up settings. So our settings, we're going to go to attributes. At the top, we're going to go to general. And remember, independent is going to be our enemy, so we can't have them allegiant to Blue 4. that's all we need to do for that part. We're going to go to attributes again and then to multiplayer. We're going to actually choose respawn on custom position, and we're going to set the delay for 2 seconds, and that's all we're going to do for that part. We're going to do something else. We're going to save that, and what we're going to actually do is we're going to use a description.ext with code in it, and I'll show you that. But first, that's pretty much our mission, so let's save it. So let's click on the save icon at the top left. We're going to put this under Tanoa, and we're going to name this progressive underscore respawn. Hit save, so that's our mission. Next, we're going to go to the scenario tab at the top and then down to open scenario folder. Alright, here we are in our mission folder, progressive respawn on Tanoa. We're going to add a few scripts, and I'm going to explain what they do. Alright, so I've added 3 scripts. Let's start with the description.ext. The code in here is a respawn template. It has a menu position. So basically, when you get killed in the mission, instead of just immediately respawning at the base respawn that we started at, a menu will come up and give you the option to choose the respawn point from the menu. So if you progress and create another spawn point in the progression, then it'll allow you to choose between, where you start the base respawn and the new respawn that was created when you cleared the trigger at the sectors. Now this code here, respawn on start, this basically sets the game to where when the mission starts, the player will be where he is at in the editor. So he'll start. Now if you were to set this to 1 like that, then what will happen is when the mission starts, then you will be put on this menu where you could choose where you're going to spawn. Now the problem with that is the way we have it set up, there is only one spawn. You only have the base respawn until you clear one of the triggers and unlock basically a new spawn to spawn at. We'll just leave this at 0, and that's good for that. Now these other 2 scripts, on player killed SQF and on player respawn, what these will do is basically just save your loadout when you get killed. Because if you get killed, and I'll demonstrate something once we get into the mission. Like I said, this will basically save the player's loadout for what he had when he started, and this will do the same thing. So this does it for the respawn, and this does it for when the player is killed. So they work hand in hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share these 3 scripts, put them on my Google Drive, and link them for download in the description of the video, and you can add them to your own missions if you want. Alright, a few things I want to point out. I changed a couple of things. Let's go to the map real quick, and I just want to let you know that I changed the helicopters from the AH-9 Pawnee to the AH-99 Blackfoot. Then in Sector 1, I added this Jeep so I can get around, because it's actually pretty far to get to there, and to get to there on foot it'll take some time. So alright, that's what I added and changed. And the other thing I want to point out is something I missed with creating the tasks. So if we go to one of the tasks, open it up, and we go to where it says owner, I forgot to actually set this to the player side, which is blue 4. So just keep that in mind when you're setting these tasks. If you decide to use tasks in your mission, that you're going to need to set the side that the player is on for the task itself. So we're going to set this to blue 4, and we're going to do these for each one of the tasks. Because if you don't set these to the side of the player or whoever is going to get the task, then they won't get the task. Alright, so that's all we have to do. Let's start up a MP LAN server and test out the mission. Alright, let's set our name. Let's go to the map, and on the map you could see the markers we set for each of the sectors. And of course you could see the first task at Sector 1, capture Sector 1, and then a task up here. Then to the left of the player is the respawn marker that we have. If we get killed, we respawn here and nowhere else. and we need to capture this sector in order to progress the respawn points that we could respawn at. So let's go. And to the left of the screen you can see the icon for the support call for calling in a helicopter support. Won't use that yet. Let's use a grenade. Get up on these rocks here. Get some advantage of something. One more guy. One more guy somewhere. Where did this dude go? Where is he? There he is. We did it. Alright, as you can see, completed the task, and now there's a new infantry respawn. And if we go to the map, we go to the task, you can see capture sector 1 has been completed, and now there is a respawn marker at the sector 1 spot, just like this guy for the base. So let's test out the respawn. Escape, go respawn. We set this for 2 seconds, so here we have the menu, as I was saying earlier, and this is our base respawn. This is where we started, and here is where we're at now. Now we can respawn. The other thing too is, thanks to the on player killed and on player respawn, our gear is also saved. So let's head to the next objective, which is sector 2, which is way over there. So I'm going to take the vehicle. Get into the gunner seat. Yeah, we did it. Alright. Let's go to our tasks. Capture Sector 2 is completed. Capture Sector 3, that's what we're on next. And now you could see the respawn thing for that. I will stop recording here. I'm going to go get the vehicle and then bring it up. Alright, unfortunately the wheels are blowing on this thing and it's not drivable anymore. So what I'm going to do is launch some rockets at Sector 3, which is over here. Have to go there by foot. Just got close enough to Sector 3. You can see where we're at. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to call air support. Supports. Let's see what that guy does. In the meantime, we're just going to get closer and do what we can do. Hear the helicopter coming. Here's an opening. God damn. Wow. Damn, he annihilated them. He didn't waste no time. Alright, shit. As you can see, capture Sector 3 is completed. Now we need to exfiltrate. And somehow, if there were more enemies somewhere and we got killed, then we could respawn here. So you get the idea of how this works. So let's head for the exfiltration point. There's the marker. Now before I get to it, obviously you can see the module there. I was thinking we should have put a marker there too, but it's alright. Walk into the square and mission completed. Nice. Alright guys, I hope you liked that and learned something new here about the progressive respawn. Just remember that the progressive respawn has nothing to do with the task or anything. There's many ways to do it, so you could set up an area trigger or even an area trigger like this where the enemy is present or whether the player enters the trigger. It doesn't matter. Alright guys, I want to thank you guys for watching.